Alright. Is my volume right now? I'm not screaming into the mic. Okay, that was take number 3. But I just wanted to get on here and post a video about what's going on, talk about a few things. So this isn't going to be some informative video on anything in particular. I might do a little bit of ranting about some stuff that's really irritated me, so I'm kind of go down a bit of a rabbit hole. I'm going to try to make it a short one, explaining where I've been, what's been going on. So if you're curious and want some insight on, from my opinion, from a newer angler, stick around. Okay, so where do I begin? All right, well, I think we'll start with why I haven't posted in a while. Well, I got put on some orders for the military because some work was kind of going slow. People weren't paying. It's the holidays. It makes sense. I'm not blaming anybody, but so I asked my unit to put me on some orders. For those of you who don't know, yes, I am a member of the Army National Guard. I do that once a month, 2 weeks out of the year. Been deployed 3 times, and I'm going on my 16th year. Just crossed that one December 5th. So, called up to get put on some orders to tide me over until the holidays were over, and pretty much it worked out fantastic. I got to go back for another week here in a few days, so I probably won't post another video this weekend either, so let's keep that in mind. And then of course with holidays, stressful schedule, bouncing around, pretty much running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And yeah, and we just haven't had any good content to put on here or anything to really talk about that I'm comfortable talking about. Because, I mean, let's be honest here. I've only been doing this for 5 years, fishing-wise, for bass. So it's hard for me to make videos that I feel confident enough that I can say, yes, this works. And especially in the winter time. Me and winter don't get along very well at all. I tried fishing while I was on orders, but most of it was from the bank on a lake that I have never personally caught a bass on, even in the middle of summer. The only bass I caught there was a rock bass, and that was not what I was targeting at all. So, me and wintertime bass fishing we get along like a house on fire. So, but that's something I'm trying to conquer up coming into the season, because I'm about 2 months away from the start of the season, and I got to figure something out. I got to break this curse of not being able to catch crap in the middle of the winter. And I don't know if it has to do with the lakes I'm on. Maybe I'm trying to fish it like it's a big lake and it's not working. Maybe I'm too impatient. Maybe I'm switching lures too fast. Maybe I'm fishing too deep. Maybe I'm not fishing shallow enough. But it's very common for me to get skunked when in the middle of winter, even if I get a bite. Like, for example, this weekend, me and the girlfriend went out to Scott Lake, about 2 hours away, and we took the boat, which is the first time in this cold weather that I took my boat out. And within the first few casts, I got a bite on a wacky rig of all things, on a brush pile just offshore. Well, because I was kind of shocked that it came that quick, I held it there too long, hoping that it would reaffirm and bite again. Well, after a second or two, it didn't, so I kind of reeled down and slowly lifted my rod. And the weight was there, so that's when I set the hook, and it was too late to let it go. But that was just me. That was all my fault. I lost it because of myself. So, not blaming anyone there. But it just was shocking to me that I caught it on a wacky rig on a brush pile in, 38-degree water. It was crazy. So I was like, okay, so I'll try some of the other baits that I know are good for winter. So I had all kinds of things tied on, a finesse jig. We had a free rig tied on and a drop shot tied on, but I never ended up using them because I really wanted to just follow what got me the bit in the first place and try to hammer down on that and see if it was a fluke, which, again, I'm pretty sure that was just a fluke bite. But living and learn. I'm going to go out a lot more each weekend beforehand. That gives me 8 more times to get out here and try to figure out a pattern here and actually find life. Because I've already figured out with the sonar system on my first time out that you can scan the whole lake. And it's scarce to see any fish anywhere. And when you do find them, they're all bunched up into a huge ball in one spot. And it was a know-nothing spot. There was like not crap around structure-wise. And it was just a huge pile of fish. And I tried fishing that one and didn't get a bite. So I'm trying to figure out more of my own what's going on there and how that's working. So work in progress. We'll get winter figured out. And once I do, then hopefully I'll be able to translate that over into a lot better tournament success. As for going into the tournaments, there was some debate on what we wanted to do and what tournament trail we wanted to go to. Especially since money's tight and we don't want to blow our entire wad on one particular season and then I'm screwed next season. So we started crunching some numbers and pushing things aside, seeing what each season would cost if I just went in and didn't win a dime all season. And it came back as, well, first off, let me stop there. Let me tell you the places I was considering. I was considering the Bass Opens, I was considering MLF, and then I was considering Kansas Buddy Bass, who just became part of Bass. And I was considering all those things, and in the initial big 3 calculation I was looking at it, Bass Opens were immediately eliminated. Strictly because of just cost. Getting to those tournaments, they're way outside of where I want to go. They're lakes that I literally have not touched most of the time, so I'm just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's too much travel, too much time on my tires, on the boat, on just the truck that I'm using. We're not doing that. That's too much. I guarantee you we're going to break 10K just getting to those tournaments every year, and I'm not doing that. That's way too much. And so it came down to Kansas Buddy Bass and MLF. So I called up the Kansas Buddy Bass because I had some concerns. Because Kansas Buddy Bass, how the format works is you come in and you have a partner. And it's you and one other guy fishing on the same boat to catch a total of 5 bass. There'd be another team who caught a total of 5 bass. And I was worried that if I didn't have a partner, how would that hinder me? So I called him and asked, and of course, Drew, he told me, yes, no, it's fine. You can fish them by yourself, but I'll be at the disadvantage of I'm fishing by myself, which having more lines in the water is definitely a powerful advantage when you're fishing like that, because you can get higher numbers of bass quicker. So I was like, yeah, nah, I don't like that. But if it's cheap enough, we'll go that route. And said, no penalty, whatever, we're fine. Okay, so then I started crunching the numbers on entry fees and everything else. So first I started out with entry fees. And the MLF is more expensive on the entry fees, even though it has only 5 tournaments. And the fees include entry fees, membership fees, boat launch fees, everything. They're all together. Everything is included. And it came out that MLF was $220 more expensive for 5 tournaments compared to the Kansas Buddy Bass's 9. So just off those numbers alone, I was like, hell yeah, we'll do Kansas Buddy Bass. They're cheaper. But then it's like, all right, well, let's add in fuel to these tournaments and everything, because that's got to be more expensive on the Kansas Buddy Bass. There are 9 tournaments. And yeah, it's almost $1,000 more expensive to go to the Kansas Buddy Bass tournaments than it is to go to the MLF. So that was a huge one already, because now it's already $750 more expensive to fish the Kansas Buddy Bass than it is MLF. So I was like, all right, that's close, but it could be changing in housing or places, apartments. So let's add those together. And with a $2,400 difference, the MLF won it by a lot, because it was a lot cheaper, because I had people in Gore and Grove willing to let me stay other places, so I didn't have to have lodging or places to stay or anything like that. I have options that will lower my price of doing these tournaments every year. So I was like, okay, so MLF wins it. So yes, we decided, yes, we are going with MLF. We're going to stick with it. We're doing the Okie division. We're not going anywhere. That is the main target of our upcoming season. Now, with that being said, I'd like to take this opportunity to show you guys what my jersey is looking like. So if you are in the audience, you kind of know what you're looking for when you see it, and colors and schemes and everything else. And you can kind of point me out if you are looking for me. I mean, I don't know why, but if you are, you will see it. So this was made by Atomic Jerseys. Very nice fitting jersey. And I couldn't go on without putting on the tournament organization that started it for me, Kansas Buddy Bass. A few of the people that we do work for, just to get their names out there: Keating Tractor, Walters Irrigation is the guys that are allowing me to stay at their place while in Grove. Power Pole Captain's Cash, I'm going to get in on that contingency plan. And then Dwayne Moore Services, and of course, oh yeah, the main logo and Army National Guard. Back, they make wonderful jerseys, by the way. You guys need to check them out if you get a chance, or if you're into that thing. But that's pretty much what's going on. Let's say we sat down and wrote down all the numbers and everything for what's going on. Kind of did our math. In the meantime, figure out winter bass and try to keep my nerves steady for my opening season, freshman season, with the MLF. And hopefully I don't go out there and make a fool out of myself on the first tournament. Because, of course, I'm nervous as hell that that's going to happen. But anyway, that was basically what I wanted to get out there and say. Give you guys an update. If you got any questions, feel free to ask, man. And if you're more experienced than me at winter fishing, feel free to give me some advice. You know? Give me some things to try, especially around here in Kansas. I'm all for it. Pretty much, I'm open to any suggestions. So, but that's what's going on. Thank you guys for tuning in if you made it this far. If not, it's fine. All right, but I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.